So I was where I was. I was just talking and giving you the introduction that what has happened with our system and where do we represent. And now let us come to the point where I would like to discuss what is the skill needed by the women technocrats, which is the topic. First of all, there is a need to develop a skill which is known as a problem solving skill. We are facing a lot of problem in our life, and as a technocrat also we are facing a lot of problems. So we should be having the women or girls students should have a technical skill which is very very important, is to know how to solve the problem, how to end the problem, how to take solution out of the problem. That skill is the most important skill which as a technocrat all women should know, because what is happening nowadays, technology is changing very fast. So we need to learn very fast. There are many skills which are needed to be learned as a programming language or a software, which we do not have to stick ourselves only to the oldest MATLAB or oldest technology to be learned. Sometimes they become obsolete. और कहते भी हैं कि आने वाले समय में तो सर्वाइव ही वही करेगा कि हर 5 साल के बाद द टेक्नोलॉजी विल चेंज. So you need to adopt yourself with the latest happenings, and you should be ready always to take the challenge and learn new programming language. Because as I have already mentioned that why there is a need to give more focus, because we are moving to the women engineers or women technocrat or STEM graduate, because we are moving towards industry 4.0. So as we are moving digitalization, we are moving towards digitalization, we need to learn the programming language. So it is very very important for all of us to be ready to learn always new programming language or software which are emerging. We need to make up our mind. We should not think no I cannot learn this. Like our dadis are saying that they cannot use smartphone, some of them, but some of them are very smart. They learn things very fast and enjoy the life. So you should be ready to keep abreast with the latest knowledge, and you should be ready to learn technical skill which are very very important. Also, it's very important to understand that what we mean by specific technical skill. The answer will might surprise you, because employees want to hire employees for their problem solving ability and critical thinking skill. So it's very very important that you should think very critically, not in a very one straight way, right? Critical thinking skill and problem solving skill are two major ability which if you acquire as a specific technical skill, you will be employed, always employed by a good employer. After all, businesses which are likely to face problems in future that they cannot even conceive of now, so they always think, those who are the good businesses, they always think what will happen after 20 years. So those who are visionaries in the business also, they always think that what is going to happen after 20 years. So they want to acquire specific technology which are they are able to foresee the future, and they can make their company or businesses able to take up the new challenges which are going to come up. Second skill which women need to adopt is again the adaptability. Adaptability means along the same lines which we have discussed about the first point, the 18% of the employees highlight their adaptability when applying for job. So when you write and apply and face the interview, always say that I'm ready to work whatever is work assigned to me. I'm ready to adopt the new thing. It is very easy to say, but once you go and you have to put a lot of effort for adopting this, then you feel become nervous. And so this world, which is a very very competitive world, and employees need to be assessing you always based on your adaptability to the culture, to the business process. So you should be ready for that. So not only for the sake of saying into the biodata or sake of facing the interview, you are saying that you are open, but you need to be open. So one very philosopher, Dan Ganman, actually written one beautiful sentence that most people experiencing a change at work have three distinct reactions. One is go with it, go against it, or do nothing. So this happens actually. We those who are the employed, they always think like that. When something new has been put up in our work culture, our first reaction is either some people will say, "Okay, I will adopt that." They are very enthusiastic people. They will say, "No, I am always with the system. I'll adopt that." And one group of people will always say, "No, I will not do this. This is against. This is a kind of a cheating. I will not do this. I'm against this." One will say, "No, I'm no, I have no comment at all. I don't want to do any comment because they don't want to do anything. So they don't do nothing actually. So people who are flexible enough to go with it are much more likely to be successful and move up the ranks. The same cannot be said for those who push back or fail to adopt. So adaptability is another skill which women need to adopt in future. And as I'm again putting an emphasis on digital and technical skill, because we are going for industry 4.0, we are going for the digitalization. So in future, in order to succeed in your field, in your future jobs, women need to have a well-rounded skill set that include the soft skill discussed as I discussed above, and as well as technical and digital skill. So you should be ready to adopt all soft skill which are needed in the new emerging area. Even for those who are not in not technical field, they become comfortable for becoming comfortable for them in the technology, or at a minimum they can make employees more efficient, more confident, and more valuable to the employees. Even the non-technical things, everything is going to become fully digitalized. So you need to learn this. Luckily, it is easier than ever for everyone to learn technical skill, because there are many platforms which are available, which are providing certification program. There are many things which are available online, or there are boot camps and other learning opportunities abound, and many are free or low cost. So there is actually your smartphone is your library, your world library. You can use of this technology and learn anything. Similarly, suppose in the COVID first lockdown, I was not knowing how to make a sweet, and my family they cannot go out, but they are carving for sweets. So I just learned this skill for making sweets through YouTube. Many of you have also tried for that skill. So it is so easy now. Just go to the online courses, just go to the YouTube, or even if you are very serious, go to Coursera, go for the certification program. So learning is not so typical nowadays. It's only up to you how and what and how much you want to put effort to learn new things. Okay. So looking into like coding is also a very important skill which is need to be learned by the engineers, even the civil engineers. You need to learn coding. So there are many courses which are available as a Treehouse or Code Academy, and there is a guidance which is given in depth. This would definitely benefit the programs like Skill Crash, Hambright Academy, and both are designed specifically for women who want to pursue career in tech and add to their skill set. So very specific program even for women are available online. You just need to search them and enroll yourself to learn the skill of coding. So also there are few sites which are very famous for learning anything. Even in fact, if I have stuck with some problem, I always go to the Khan Academy and brush up my actually knowledge. So Khan Academy, Leanda, and NME offers courses on nearly every topic under the sun. Coursera offers many open university courses, and in the COVID pandemic time, the Coursera has made universities, and they have given options to the university that all the courses, if the university is adopting, it is free. Otherwise, a student need to pay if they want to have a certification from the Coursera. Some of the courses are free if you just join, but they will not provide you certificate. But if the university enrolled in the Coursera courses, these courses would be free for their students. So you can learn subjects like computer science, data science, while software specific courses like Salesforce's Trailhead program, these are the greater way to get familiar with the new ideas and new business skill. So sky is the limit if you are really a learner, because the technology made everything very, very simple and approachable. Everything is approachable now. So let us go for move forward for another skill which is needed by the technical women is the creativity. See, whether innovating a new product or solving a challenging problem, the ability to think outside the box is very crucial now. Everyone wants that their employee, their children should think out of the box. And in the future work, that skill is really, really very much essential. So organization, they encourage and reward creativity and also benefit from happier, more engaged, motivated, and productive employees. So companies are doing a lot of things so that they're actually the employer should be very happy, very interactive, very engaged, and they think that they are sitting in a company which belongs, which is caring for them and belongs by them. So that is actually the way the business houses are moving forward to make 100% of the employees. One simple way for businesses can increase creativity is simply by making team more diverse and inclusive. So now already we know that this is the area of multi-discipline. So businesses are making a team of multi-talented people with the diverse area, and there is a plenty that women can do a boost their creativity too, and they're always looking forward women as their team leader, because it is very, very well established that they are the leaders actually in many areas, and they have a very different kind of creativity too, and this will ensure that if they are in the group, uh, then it's they think that they are innovating and going to contribute valuable ideas. So creativity is a very important asset, which will come only when you be aware that what is happening, and you should be putting lot of efforts to think outside the box. So that is skill is going to help us to make women more and more competent for getting jobs. As I already mentioned in the very first two slides, that although we are producing number one in producing the graduates, but employability is very less. So if you really want to become uh, creative, definitely you will be hired by or employed by many companies in future, because they are always looking for the people who are really very, very creative. So the creative things like you should be having the ability to for the brainstorming, you should be having a ability for the free writing, and you are using your mind maps actually to interlink the problems and getting the solutions. And as I already making effort to think outside the box, it means you should be getting outside the office. A chance of scenery can be inspiring, and that's why the offices are now doing a lot of things to make the office very, very scenic and beautiful. So all this skill will be developed, and of course you will be happy to use your creativity when you are happy from inside and outside both. So it's very important for all for women that they should be happy from every aspect, inside and outside. Then only they will be able to put up their 100%. Another skill which is very, very essential to learn is entrepreneurship skill. So you don't have to be an entrepreneur to be an entrepreneurial, as Jeff James writes. Thinking like an entrepreneur can open your eyes to new opportunities to learn and grow in your role, which will in turn strengthen your businesses or company and put you on the path of being a great leader. So the time has come when we women need to prove ourselves that we are really a great leaders. And still, I've seen that many places they don't encourage, and this is my own experience. That okay, but if there is a leadership role, then sometimes people hesitate to give this role to the women. They are not very comfortable. They are not having so much confidence on their ability. So we need to prove that. So entrepreneurial skill is another skill which every technocrat has to be learned. And it is not essential that you have to become entrepreneur to learn the skill. No, you have to be open to understand the skill which are making you to think like an entrepreneur. So what does it take to be an entrepreneur? That is the very important question. So how we can be an entrepreneur? So along the trail we have discussed so far that you have to be adaptable and creative. You can start to be innovative in your role, and this makes your own way to learn the skill. Be bold. Take your seat at the table and make your voice heard. Lastly, entrepreneurship is near synonyms with the risk taking. Don't be afraid to try and fail. So many people say things that they are happy, they are comfortable with their environment, they don't want to make their life uncomfortable. Uncomfortable in the sense that they don't want to take any risk. But that is not good. You need to be to take a learn to take a risk. When you once you learn to take a risk, then only there is a possibility that you will fail and then you will finally succeed. Final thought for technocrats, women, for skill development is that you have to prove. Now women only holds about 7% of role on private tech company boards, but this role, I'm very sure, is going to improve because industry is likely to require multi-pronged approach for changing workplace culture and hiring practices, and this will definitely going to empower more younger women to pursue and succeed the STEM education and make their career in the STEM education. So a lot of happening is already is happening. Lot of schemes are there which are promoting women in technical educations. So we will see that the future proof career, if you want to adopt in a STEM education career, is already available. Only thing is you have to give your final thought that yes, I want to do this thought. That's yes, I want to do this is a half of the effort you have already achieved. But there are few challenges. One challenge is the language. Many of the girl students who are in technical education, STEM education, or medical education, they are not very comfortable in their language, skill of language, which is English nowadays in India, unfortunately, because a language is very important. So, but in the new education policy NEP 2020, we are again going to give a lot of emphasis on our language because one MIT, I hope you all of you are from technological field, you understand MIT. So one linguistic, Ken Halley, very famous linguistic from MIT, he says that when you lose a language, you lose a culture, intellectual wealth, a work of art. It is like dropping a bomb on the Louvre. I hope you are aware of the Louvre. Louvre is the museum which is there in the Paris. Unimaginable size, worth seeing and worth visiting. Louvre Museum. So it is like a bombing in the Louvre Museum if you don't know your language or you're killing your language. So that was the quote given by the MIT linguistic, right? And we understand that. We are knowing that how much we have lose because we have not adopted. uh, We have adopted English, so neither we are very good in English nor we are very good in Hindi, और मिक्सिंग हो गया और कई लोगों को बहुत प्रॉब्लम भी होती है। कई बच्चे जब फर्स्ट ईयर में आते हैं इंजीनियरिंग एजुकेशन में, तो उनका मेन प्रॉब्लम ये होता है कि वो हमारी बात को समझ नहीं पाते हैं, लिख नहीं पाते हैं इंग्लिश में। तो इसीलिए अब NEP 2020 में इस बात का भी इम्फेसिस दिया जा रहा है कि स्कूल में हमें हमारी लैंग्वेज से एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग डेवलप करनी पड़ेगी और उसके बाद कोई भी स्किल सीखी जा सकती है। भाई इंग्लिश भी आनी चाहिए क्योंकि इंटरनेशनल लैंग्वेज है और इसका भी अपना एडवांटेज है, और ये भी आनी चाहिए लेकिन हमें अपनी लैंग्वेज भी आनी चाहिए। So that is one local challenges. There are many other challenges like teaching quality is not good, our demand supply gap, and uneven growth and access to opportunity to women in the technical area, constraint for research capability and innovation, which is our education system is facing, because we are not able to put, we are not a very rich country, so we are not able to put more money into the education. But with the help of private players who are coming up, and as you are the student of private university, so if these private people will come up in contributing the education, I'm very sure that one day we will overcome all the constraints because of this capacity and this. So there are many things which are happening in India in the recent development, like in the form of new education policy, which is NEP 2020, new science and innovation policy. Also, they are framing after 30 years. The government, I have participated in many seminars in which we have discussed that what should be there, what is the role of women in the new science and innovative policies. Various foreign universities are going to come up in India. We are opening our education sector for foreign university. Private universities are already there. Autonomous status is given to the many colleges, and accreditation is a very strong institution which is coming up through NEC. Job oriented courses, skill development program are also going to be provided in future. So way forward is that we need to focus more on agriculture sector. We are still lacking. A lot of input can be given by all the technocrats in this sector, because we are agrarian society. So we need to give more focus on this. We need to promote our middle class classes for going to the higher education system, and we need to invest more money into this area. For putting up the more money, government has created one fund which is known as a HEFA fund. I don't know how many of you have heard, but we have heard about this HEFA fund, which is about the higher education financial financing agency. So here actually the responsibility is fixed. So suppose I want to start a new center of excellence, I can apply for HEFA and I can get crores of rupees. There is no limit for that. But I will be only responsible for giving back money to the agencies. So I'm taking not as a grant, but I'm taking as a loan. And you know that whenever you are taking loan, it's your responsibility to repay the loan. Prime Minister Research Fellowship is also launched, and it is this scheme is for 1,000 best BTech student each year from Premier Institute, being provided facility to do PhDs in IITs and ISC, and this is also a very welcome step to enhance the quality of technical research in the country. Student various schemes has been floated, so that we'll be having a very transparent governance mechanism and equal opportunities available for every Indian citizen. So by 2030, India will be amongst the youngest nation in the world, with nearly 140 million people in the college going age group. One in every four graduates in the world will be a product of the Indian higher education system. We are already knowing that how US and other European country, they have been benefited by our IIT system. So by 2030, the already existing challenges for higher education in terms of access, equality, and quality will only be greatly exacerbated unless we significantly transform our higher education model, which we are doing through new NEP 2020. Needless to say that by 2030, calls for a new vision and a new aspiration, and this is the genesis of the higher education in India. Vision 2030 reports is available online. You can go through this. And here I would like to quote Thomas L. Friedman. He is the Pulitzer Prize winner, and he has given this quote that my parents told me, finish your dinner. People in China and India are starving. That was the old situation. But now I tell my daughters, finish your homework. People in India and China are starving for your job. So such a negative things has been promoted that that's why new kind of politics is coming up. Its world is not like open. We have already seen the globalization negative impact because of COVID pandemic. Because of the globalization, we have suffered the COVID pandemic. But this globalization is also becoming somewhat losing its strength. When we take statement like this from such a famous people, that I tell my daughter, finish your homework, people in India and China are starving for your job. ये तो वही हो गया जो पिक्चर में हम डायलॉग देते थे कि बेटा सो जा नहीं तो गब्बर आ जाएगा. So this is also a drawback which the world is going to see in future. So I will again quote Robin S. Sharma. Hope you have read Ferrari novel by Robin Sharma. That leadership is not about a title of designation. It is about impact, influence, and inspiration. Impact involves getting results. Influence is about spreading the passion you have for your work, and you have to inspire teammates and customers. So I really want that women who are here attending this talk or lecture and those who are studying, please try to take a leadership role. And this is not difficult. Only your own willingness. And we are inherently leaders. All ladies are inherently leaders, because even your mother, if you see, she is the leader at home minister at home, right? So you can be a leader in every area, every segment. So as told to me by the organizer Pooja that I have to finish by for 3:30, right? So I'm trying to finish by 3:30, Pooja. So I'll just give you a few example of the very successful women in India. I hope you all might be knowing about this missile woman, Tessie Thompson. Right, she is the presently Director General of Aeronautic Division of DRDO, and she has contributed immensely in the missile technology. She has built a great team. She's a great leader, and I always love to see her because she truly represents women. She need not to change her attire or the way she is dressed up in sari. Even she is in the president of US or president of India, she will always wear sari like this, put a bindi in her head, and tag up a sari in a very nice style. I really admire her, the true Indian women leader, which is a missile woman. Another leader, I know her personally because she was our board member, BOG member in MA and IT. We have organized her talk. I have interacted her many times. She is Nandini Harinathan. And she is also a rocket scientist at the Indian Space Research Organization Satellite Center. She has worked for 14 different missions in 20 years of her experience. She works on a deputy operational director in Mangalyaan mission. So you might have seen her in the television many times. She is Nandini Harinathan. And another very successful entrepreneur, woman, businesswoman is Kiran Mazumdar Shaw. You all might be knowing her name because she is the founder of the India biggest biotechnology firm, Bicon, and she is a pioneer in the field of biotechnology in India. And in the year 2010, she was named by the Time as one of the 100 most influential people in the world, and is on the Forbes Global Power list as one of the 10 most powerful women in the world. So I really want that sky is the limit. You can also be like that in future. So I would like to conclude that in a bid to recruit, refrain, and promote women in STEM area, the Ministry of Science and Technology said that it will now rank higher education institution on gender equality. I have been to the NEC team in many places, and there in the NEC there is a format that how much you are promoting the women and what is the gender equality ratio. So if we start doing this, definitely the institute are going to take care of this in future. And as India is digitally transforming at a rapid pace, the demand for technologically competent employee base is growing. So there is a lot of opportunity for women technocrats. For that, the India could turn inward instead of outward to plug the gap. So for you to become more employable and getting a skill, you need to turn inward, not outward. One day you will learn everything. So there are few cartoons. With that, I would like to end. So there was one man who's standing, and there is a STEM woman, and he's saying, "Excuse me, lady, would you could you tell me where the section committee members are?" So you can see that the majority of the section committee are women now. So the man is really surprised whether he is in the right room or not.
Yes.
So I hope that this will happen everywhere. The research funding lack transparency. Well, clean the window. This is not going to happen. There will be in future. There will be a lot of transparency where women can apply and get everything. So, small but deep truth of life is that for your eye problem, eye drop. For your eye problem, drop eye. Successful education leader holds the key to unlock a vision. So, thank you very much for
Thank-
patience hearing. I hope I have finished within time.
Definitely, ma'am. It's a wonderful session. It was a wonderful session.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the valuable session. So there is a Q&A round here. Ma'am,
Yes.
there is a question come from women empowerment. So tell us, ma'am, women empowerment schemes in India.
Yeah, as I already mentioned that for technocrats, because we are all engineers are connected here. So there are many schemes. You just please go to the DST website, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. They are having a very specific like Kiran scheme, which I have mentioned. US, with the US government, they are having one scheme where only the STEM and medicine also, they can collaborate, write projects with the US university and get a chance to visit the US university for 3 to 6 months. Also, those women who have dropped and they are in the family way or something, they have not done any job. There are scheme. I know 2 or 3 women who has written a project, got the scheme, and working in MNIT Bhopal. So if you have a gap in your career, even then you can write projects, and that project is available only for women who has the gap in the career, and they can write project. Please come to us. We are very ready to accept that kind of students. They can write project, they can work with MANIT, and so there are many schemes available dedicatedly for women by Government of India. So please visit DST website to know the more details.
Okay. Pooja?
Thank you so much, ma'am. May I request it to co-convener Professor Rachna Bajaj for the vote of thanks.
First and foremost, I thank our special guest, Professor Vital Thakur, who, despite her busy schedule, has found time to grace this occasion. We are grateful to our Chancellor, sir, and Dipti ma'am for her words of encouragement, stewardship, support, vision, and commitment. I also thank to our Dean, Dr. Sanjeev Gupta, sir. I owe
Ma'am, voice.
all the invitees present here for their presence. I am grateful to our head of the department, Kapil Soni sir, for encouraging us, kindness, interest, and continued support. I owe special gratitude to all the faculties, students, and all the invitees present here for their presence. Once again, last but not the least, I thank you all for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
again,
ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Sorry, ma'am, for the inconvenience.
Yes.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
There is some technical issues.
There is always
I'm very sorry, ma'am.
there is always a constraint for technology.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Hope to
Thank
see
you.
you in future. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.